이렇게 해서 학문 성악을 동사서 다 나누고 그래야지.
So now the bosses were already finished with their speech, and now Rinpoche said, now it's my turn. So I have the biggest chair, but I also have a lot to say. So Dharma friends have assembled from all over the place, and actually there are some who always come to the teachings. Ever since I first arrived in America, up until now, there are some who kind of always go together wherever I go, and they come to all the teachings. And so that is also because the flavor of the Dharma has arisen within their mind, and so therefore it is really excellent.
내가 사실 좀 되게 까지 정말 추시반을 하다가 까빠들 사실 좀 되게 까니고요래 추시반에 가래 죽고고요래 이제 강에 랑그 샘도 죽고고래 랑그 샘도 양양도 싸움도 죽고고래 그래서 이렇게 샘 10시 가지라 샘도 전나들이 사기에서야 요래 공때에 이때 여러 탑을 탑수는 좀 들이라는 시합 챔피언 정도 것들이 소장 마스로 그람 바스음송 그냥 기억하고 필요 공부를 또 왕도 전에들이 기억하시면 샘듯이 뭘 장이요 말이지 기억하서 필요 공부 최종을 전에들이 다 시합 최종에서 이렇게 길람들 봐서 조관해서
And so, what I'm speaking about is the words of the Buddha. It is the Dharma. Therefore, it is also meaningful. What we really have to listen to is the words of the Buddha. And so the Dharma literally means, it implies a transformation of the mind, or we change the state of our mind, we transform our mind. So what needs to be transformed is within ourselves, it is the mind. And we transform the mind by purifying it over and over again. We practice to purify the mind. And eventually, the mind attains enlightenment. So there are basically 3 methods to transform the mind. And these are taught in accordance with the different mental capacities of the practitioners. So depending on, because there are different levels of mental capacity, higher, middling, or lower, due to that, the Buddha taught 3 levels of paths: the individual liberation, the bodhisattva, and the Vajrayana paths. And so in general, everyone possesses Buddha nature, and within Buddha nature, there is no difference. It is not that one is better than the other. Buddha nature is one. But then, temporarily, due to having habituated to and practiced the Dharma to various degrees in previous lifetimes, then now in this lifetime, we all possess varying degrees of wisdom or intelligence. And due to the difference in mental capacity that comes from previous lives, the Buddha taught 3 levels of the path.
그리고 토탈로 반신 이 다찬 도착을 다든가 때는 토탈로 그리고 다랑 그리고 좋지 보인다. 동상도 다리도 하고요. 다들 안 말이에요. 이거 다들 들고 또 어떤지 다 주변에 와서 사생들 이 진도 다들 가리 제기들이 제파 뭐 나도 보고도 하고 나한테 이들은 좋지. 다 지금에 뭐 또 생각을 다 보죠. 다 내가 다도 시작을 하고 난 다들 또 다들 가야지 또 가야지 다들 다들 루즈죠. 루즈는 포커도 다른 내 사람도 마음도 포커도 가 그래 사실은 다들 강박자를 sempre deixava ele acabar de mal para começar na acabar de passou ou deixar ele a nossa indústria acaba como isso militante para dar esse salto para luta assim não anda melhor rápido até ele corte toda aquele a gente está tudo 합체 tudo
So first, in the path of individual liberation, here we are still considering the self as most important. So you don't want to suffer, and you want to be happy. And you realize here that the causes for your happiness come from your body, speech, and mind. So on that level of the path, you learn to practice virtue and to abandon non-virtue. And as a result of that, you will experience happiness. So first you practice that, and gradually you begin to realize that the biggest problem actually is that self that wants to be happy. That really causes all the trouble. All faults come from that. So then you realize that actually, now in the bodhisattva context, actually there is no real self. This body that I identify with is not who I really am. There is no real I actually. So on the level of the bodhisattvas, we tame this self-grasping mind through peaceful means, through cultivating altruism. And in this way, gradually, that sense of I diminishes. It comes to an end. So that is what we realize on the bodhisattva level. And so then today, entering the Vajrayana level, you realize that I really do not want to have this concept of a self. So the Vajrayana is a forceful method to eliminate this concept of a self. So you realize that actually there is no self. If you possess a certain level of wisdom or intelligence, you know that I only think that there is an I, but actually there is no I. This concept of I is created based on this body. But I am not this body. I just always believe I am this body. But I am actually not this body. For example, the body or the I, the so-called I that you identify with, is like a house, and the mind is like a person who lives in that house. So when you realize that you are not the house, you realize that I'm just living here for now, but in the future I will sell that house and turn it into a lot of money, and then I will go on. Actually, I don't need that house. I am not the house. So here in the Vajrayana, we cut through the self, grasping through a forceful means. And that is the essence of the Chod. Chod means to cut through. So you realize that I am not this body. There is no I. And if you train in this now, then later, after you have died, the mind transforms. So that's really the whole purpose of the meaning of the Chod. In essence, it is to cut through this false concept, this false belief of there being a self. Of habituating to the practice of not grasping at ordinary body and speech, then eventually that sense of I, an existing I, diminishes. And the ultimate fruition, the result, is the attainment of enlightenment. There's only one result, and that is Buddhahood. So what is Buddhahood? It is when you look at the nature of your mind, and when one realizes the nature of mind and realizes that there is no duality between self and other. Self and other are inseparable. When one realizes that, then the mind is experienced as vast, like space. So you might be familiar with the teachings on Mahamudra or Dzogchen and so forth. So the mind becomes vast like space when there is no more grasping at a self. And in that moment when the mind abides like space, one then naturally understands the true nature of one's mind. So now the term enlightenment or Buddhahood in Tibetan is Sangye, and so Sang is that, to clear away this dualistic grasping, this dualistic veil. And Gye, the second syllable, means vast or expansive. So when dualistic grasping has been cleared away, the mind then is experienced as vast, like space. So that is the state of Buddhahood, the ultimate result. And so now, in the practice of Chod also is such a practice that transforms in this way one's body, speech, and mind. And there are many different lineages. Here we are practicing practice blessing lineage, and within that system of practice, many Mahasiddhas have appeared in the past, and they have provided many different methods and ways of practice, Chod, for example. And so in general, actually, it is that the Vajrayana, the secret mantra, is rich in methods and require the least difficulty. They are actually very easily done. And also the empowerment now that we are going to receive belongs to the secret mantra. So this particular lineage derives from Majik Labdrön. There are many different Chod lineages, but no matter what lineage it is, they all have the same purpose, and that is to cut through self-grasping. So the various gurus have taught various methods, but the ultimate result is the same. So this is the lineage of Majik Labdrön, and next we will read the historical background of this empowerment. So the brief Chod empowerment called a precious garland. Now you will receive the profound Chod empowerment. This empowerment contains the Dakini's extraordinary and profound secret words. First, for the disciple to develop firm confidence in this teaching, a historical background of the Chod empowerment will be given. In the palace of the Dharma Dhatu's vast expanse, in the pure sphere of Akanishta, dwells the great mother Samantabhadri, also known as Vajravarahi, Vajra Nairatmya, the selfless Vajra goddess, or the noble Lady Tara. From the tip of a light ray emanating from her heart, the boundless palace of the Akanishta Pure Land appeared together with a throne. At the center of this palace appeared the Dharmakaya Great Mother, surrounded by limitless Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions. From the heart of the Great Mother manifested a black, wrathful, Mara-subduing goddess, together with a fourfold retinue, who came to abide in the palace at the heart of the Dakini land of Udayana. From the heart of the Mara-subduing, wrathful goddess emanated the Dakini Selingma, together with a fourfold retinue, who proceeded to the palace of Gandola in Udayana. In order to benefit sentient beings, the Dakini Selingma took 170 different lives in the god and human realms. In the last of these lives, she took birth as Majik Labdrön. In Tibet, Majik Labdrön took 2 lives simultaneously, as the Chinese and the Nepalese queens of King Songtsen Gampo. These 2 later took birth as Yeshe Tsogyal. 4 Dakinis emanated from Yeshe Tsogyal: Majik Shama, Shelsam Dönema, Shangcham Drikung, and Lapki Durma. In her outer aspect, she is noble Lady Tara. In her inner aspect, she is the Great Mother. In her secret aspect, she is Vajravarahi, and in her innermost secret aspect, she is the black, wrathful Dakini. During the time of the Buddha Shakyamuni, Majik Labdrön manifested as the Bodhisattva called the Goddess of the Ganges. So what is the purpose of sharing a historical background? The Sutra of Distinguishing the Essence from the Residue says, in the degenerate age of the final 500 years, an emanation of the mother of all Buddhas named Drima will appear in the north in a place called Lab. She will be a master of the generation and completion stages. She will wander through towns, villages, valleys, charnel grounds, and hermitages, and her teachings will spread far. The root Tantra of Manjushri says, in times of degeneration, when my teachings will decline, an emanation of the Great Mother, the perfection of wisdom named Dharma, will appear to teach the meaning of the unborn nature. Whoever connects to her teachings will attain unsurpassed awakening. In the general prophecy of the teachings of Guru Padmasambhava, it says, an incarnation of Tsogyal will appear at Sangri, the copper-colored mountain. She will cut through being's concepts, uprooting all discursiveness completely. Thus, her coming was foretold in many sutras and tantras. She had 16 supreme disciples who attained liberation through her teachings and who had actualized direct realization of emptiness. Furthermore, she established many gods, demons, and humans on the path of ripening and liberation. The fame of her teachings was such that 3 swift-footed yogins were sent to Tibet from Bodh Gaya to bring back her teachings to India. Having tested her on her recollection of her previous lives, and the 3 developed trust. Having given rise to faith, they brought back Magic's teachings to India. Thus, her renown of being an actual manifestation of the Great Mother illuminates the world like the sun and moon. Her teachings comprise the teachings of the Sutra and Tantric systems and the union of both. The lineage of the Sutra system is as follows. From the Buddha Shakyamuni to Manjushri to Nagarjuna to Aryadeva to Padampa Sangye to Gyodun Sonam Lama and to Magic Labdrön. The lineage of the Tantric system is as follows. From the Dharmakaya Great Mother to the Sambhogakaya Vajrayogini and the Nirmanakaya Noble Lady Tara, who transmitted the teachings directly to Magic Labdrön. The lineage of the union of sutras and tantras is as follows. From Manjushri, the Lion of Speech, to Noble Lady Tara, to the Dakini Sukhasiddhi, to the Brahmin Aryadeva, to Padampa Sangye, to Gyodun Sonam Lama, who transmitted the teachings directly to Magic Labdrön. Magic Labdrön passed down her teachings to 3 of her sons. To her son Gyalva Dönrup, she transmitted the teachings of the Sutra system. To her second son, Töngyön Samdrup, she transmitted the truth teachings from the Tantric system. And to her third son, Kugom Chöseng, she transmitted the teachings from the Sutras and Tantras combined. There were many followers, as many as there are stars in the sky, who became learned and accomplished in the teachings of this lineage. The great Mahamudra Chod illuminates the world like the sun and moon. The specific lineage of this Samadhi empowerment that is conferred based on the Dharma was transmitted through Kugom Chugisenge, Dokten Dölva Sangtal, Sida Gyanak Cherbum, Sangye Ramngun, Sangye Wonten, Rigomba Chempum, Che Rangjung, and so on. These teachings of Chod are instructions born from the heart of Magic Labdrön. They are the accomplishment of the Dakinis, one's best friend in the face of difficult circumstances. Through these profound teachings, one learns to see bad omens as auspicious fortune. Magic said this to her sons. Listen to your mother, sons. No obstacle will ever come. When you are sick, offer yourself to the demons, and you will attain well-being that is free from illness. Entrust your matters and wealth to your enemy, and you will seize the throne of fearlessness. If you let go of everything, you will be free of desire. See difficult circumstances as a friend. This is the instruction of your mother. Better than asking for protection and refuge 100 times is it to let them eat what they may, take what they may, just a single time. Giving away your body and life as food is the greatest protection sphere. Offering 100 Gana chakras is no match to accumulating merit through the Kusali offering. Offering 100 feasts is no match to performing the white and red distributions of Chod. 100 prayer ceremonies are no match to giving away one's body, flesh, and blood. 100 monasteries are no match to isolated, terrifying dwelling places. 100 benefactors are no match to the patronage of gods and demons of the phenomenal world. 100 teachings of the holy Dharma are no match to the view of boundless primordial purity. 100 pith instructions are no match to the holy Dharma of Chod, the severance of demons. By merely knowing of or hearing these oral instructions of developing awareness of the tricks of your mind, the mind is playing on you, you will take birth as a child of the noble family in the Buddha fields. If you understand and realize these teachings, you will become a Buddha, supreme among two-legged beings. The Indian text of Chod, written by Aryadeva, says, the gods in the upper regions will be bound by Samaya. The Nagas of the lower regions will be subdued. The Nagas will accomplish any task you ask of them. Wherever you are, you can ask the gods to help you. All the Nagas will act as your servants. The Guru, Yidams, Dakinis, and protectors will regard you as their child. Once the tangible demons are cut off, the visual world will no longer appear as a threat. Once the intangible demons are cut off, male and female harm doers will be bound by oath. These and other excellent qualities by means of which to benefit others will eventually become immeasurable. These profound teachings will dispel illness, evil spirits, and obstacles in life. It is more profound and to the point than other teachings, and will lead to enlightenment quicker than any other path.
Dada, di lojilana mangosongure, the tamjidani, tatokro dada, the songchik, jobchik, jachira, soshik, chik, gas. That's the most of Nadi, you got only songchik, job, Ganga, Chen, was like a job, some Dadi or Dadi, that was sort of terrible, sort of the sense of your head. At the Tonda, some job, job did a career. The suggestion about the job was never donated, young boy. The government donated community, ladies in your ladies society, you may say. The tower, the great or half on summer. The little ladies, you I am, social churches, da may buy it, flamly want to die over my. The little doggy down the daughter, young doggy, you may a child for your head. They talk to you the little. They buy me so got me. The great Lame Basi. One of the Toma is a pin Gatachi boy for the Tapa. We need to that. One of the you may sit all of Senna, Dagi, you may have the Jumay, Omer, Joe, Leon Coros, and never. That also. Senna, Dagi, you may say. Dagi, you zoned it. You only so 50 people were down. Nam to toss less out the lady. That's not my labor chart that the daddy for a common. The mom was added that sort of less out. Somewhere was done. The gorgeous symbol. Suggestion got that baby. Oh, Donna was a great Havami bus. That was the prince, no, this large, not with your. Don't go by me, the letter. No, that no, the tick down here. No, no, the email. They have one of the thousands of gorgeous generation time to go. Particular doggy, we make a talk of the Latin, the bottom in a half or to your head. They can't symbol your head. You can't imagine the Lama, the Lord, the half or better such gonna, Malariba Natalo, the chip, the young and to quiet up your head. The 2 year me here. Many children much love Natalia or Deta. Lady Luciva, the young to Trovatia, the Hakwa, beautiful.
So there was a lot to this history, but then the essence ultimately of all of that is, we have said that we ask deities and so on for protection. We We ask for prayer ceremonies. We ask for protection and refuge and so forth, long life. But then, ultimately, what is our true protection, really? First of all, Buddha nature always remains unharmed on the ultimate level. But then, on the relative level, for the time being, we do encounter suffering. And why? It is because we have committed certain actions. We have accumulated karma. Who has really accumulated it? It is our own afflictive emotions. So once you have understood the principle of karma, even though there is still some karma ripening, you do understand that ultimately there is no actual self. And you realize that, for example, when you practice the deity, then in that moment there is no self, but then it comes back again. But when you're actually abiding in the ultimate state of the mind, there is really no duality, no separation between self and others. So mainly when the Buddha taught the Dharma, he taught the twofold truth. The relative truth is, the teachings on the relative truth are the teachings on karma, unfailing karma. And the ultimate truth teaches emptiness. So if one doesn't really understand, one sees a contradiction there between relative and ultimate. It's hard to understand. But actually, there is no real contradiction. So when one has realized non-duality and the mind abides in this space-like state where there is no separation between self and others, then there is also no karma. There is no accumulation of karma. There is no going around wandering in samsara if there is no concept of a self. But once there is a notion of I and other, once that is present, even the most subtle of thoughts develop in the mind. And then we act out on them in whichever way. We accumulate karma, and these actions form habitual imprints in our mind. And that we have done since beginningless time in samsara. So all of these karmas and imprints come from this concept of self. And in the future, it will continue to do, we continue to accumulate karma, considering ourselves as most important. With the self as the basis, we act out. So that is actually a point that you should think about very carefully. There is something very deep to understand here. There is actually no contradiction in the Buddha's teachings on the twofold truth. So on the relative level, karma is unfailing. So here we have a perception of self and other and gods and demons and so on. On the ultimate level, it is all empty. Ultimately, there is no real harm doer and no one that is being harmed. There is no duality between them. So once you understand that, once you know that, you will make an effort in practice. Even if you experience that just for one moment, if you experience this non-dual state where there is no separation between self and others, even for just a moment, in that moment you will begin to realize the true power of this practice. So that's why it is so important. And so in general, no matter what practice you do, it is always good first to know the historical background of that practice. For example, when you practice Mahamudra, then you should read Milarepa's life story. And that's something you should anyways read again and again. And then if you practice Chod, then you should read Machik Labdrun's life story and also her teachings, her commentary on the Chod practice. And as you keep reading and studying this over and over again in various ways, a very unique feeling and experience arises from that knowledge, from knowing about this. And so therefore, this is very important in the beginning.
Sudhakaya me bhava, Sakajaya me bhava, Anurabha me Savadada me bhayata, Savadana Sada me Tataji Anguru O Bhagavi Savadada Gata Beda Mame Mata Beda Mazumayo Lava Savadada Gata Abeki Kadezuma Injiriye o Rani Yadala Savadaba Ojatroya Sojujuda Jidadu Kuba Jidu Tomana the Hong Oma Loro Hawaii, Nidaja Daniel Beson, and the Jito Malone, the Sangha Dubala, Tadoman, Casoda Dodo Jedo, Naso, Jedo, Uncatimi, the Dina, she over Labai. They will go back on line of the Wallova, Begani, woman, hold Diana, hold Diana, by Diana. Dayawo Baga Bayara Dayawo me borro sotto che tanto sa che ne sono doggio con la giga ne me bomba bedara chiara chiaro beda to somoya ma ne pala ya beda to no the charter do me baba so the gayo me baba so bejayo me baba anora to me baba so wa the me par yeta so wa to ma so Dadam Jiam Guru Hong Bangave Savada Badama Madame Samaya Sado no one bedabami Hong Jan number of one is one bedare Hong Jaram Uso hungre jabora jal babor no balanjo sang damenya chadali dam ngaya ngaya gen ado yode dalo chanda damenya damenya jala rumboje ro paksaje dunjoye ba mame ba ya lodo golorumboje orumbo Tumorumboje, Lumborumboje, Lamborumboje, Tamjorumboje, Mamorumboje, Moya Bamba, Giguama, Devama, Lama, Medoma, Dobuma, Nazarama, Deja, Yamanda, Rumboje, Dog, Sole, Namparaja, Uzala, Damaya, Banjora, Bazon, Soba, Masamba, Mipa, Yanga, Namparadaba, Kibye, Hingaya, Damien, Sume, Barden, Lama, Tambe, Shabra, Mizija, Wangar, Samu, Hiva, Yunda, Bavaraja, Toji, Rova, Dunda, Yesa, Yina, Senja, Lam, Duzo. Saya beja saya medora ralinge neda jambande sanje kenla mede purva yende jewa yo koso yanzo lame sonan la chena zanzan deye nije jo dalu lomjo naze yangye Lame joga ngada zardu jo chansarwa dan jeje shawa yesa yaran geyen zawa ye gewa junze doge jeza tamje zobe zanjo zemo tani wang shuga kapdi tani chuka lamkhaje de chapdele tere 롱건 남건 야총제 되었더니 빈당 야총제 되더라니 그랬더니 저걸 거지 송대리 각각 말이 라우카를 하서 샷디와 산지 무보다 참아 바다무서 사도도 도도 많이 봐 그랬더니 야총하게 뭐또 맞을 추가해 라우카리 무슨 통지 요바 드니들아 치바 제와 네바 또 퍼좀 좀 봐요. 왔더니 로스도 먹고서 그때 저걸 놓고서 그래. 그때 엄마가 하고 그래. 그딴 롱걸 다 마다 이제 되어서 나디마다나 나시 야손하지 차로 올라나 세우도 해줘 그래. 나디 다소 차는 인디 다소 차는더니 이제 매와 그랬더니 라면 나와는 하고 그래 롱도 것이 봐대 싹강 야는 이제 띵어를 나가가 배운 거요. 그 나가지 헐치고 방치보다를 찾아서 되는 거 소소하다 그래. 나가지 뭐치 와나 이면에 이제 바로 딱 빨리요. 딱 빠지 홀로서 이제 이거 바람이 바람이 신는데 수관 거거든 맞지라 롱도 거지. 다다다 라인 거다지 나갈 요거지 진정이니 다다다 그 뭐자요 저기가 뭐야 단대체로 거지 막 뭐게 그제 로드 참
So when we are receiving empowerment now, during the empowerment, so we visualize that the assembly of deities appears before us in space. And so their space, like nature, is that the Dharmakaya, which is their mind, is all pervasive like space. So they're always there. And their Sambhogakaya form appears like a rainbow in the sky with 5 different colors and so on. Actually, the Dharmakaya and the Sambhogakaya are a union. They are not separate from each other. And so the assembly of deities, the deity that appears before you in space, is not composed of any material substance, like earth and rocks and so on. It clearly appears, but like a rainbow. It is clearly there, but it lacks any substantial essence. There's no substance. Its essence is empty. And this empty essence is its Dharmakaya nature. The appearance as a rainbow, the colors, are the Sambhogakaya. So we can really see the deity, for example, or a rainbow. And however, it's not just like a rainbow. The deity, the Sambhogakaya, also possesses perfect qualities of omniscience, of love, and of power. So Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya are a union, a one. And most of you know about that. Sometimes also it is said that the Sambhogakaya can manifest in a pure, and there's a pure and an impure Sambhogakaya. So for as long as self-grasping has not been purified, for as long as there is self-grasping, there is this ordinary consciousness that continues on like a rainbow, but there still is suffering in the mind. So the body is like a rainbow body after death, but there is still suffering in the mind. And once one has eliminated dualistic grasping, self-grasping, then what appears, the Sambhogakaya, is recognized as one's own self-projection. So whatever deity you practice, it is that deity that appears in space before you. And actually, now when we supplicate to the deity during an empowerment, it is like we are opening the gates to a temple or to the mandala abiding in space. But so that is significant because we are just opening the doors. That is all we are doing. The deities are already there anyways. They are always here in space, but we just don't know that. But when we supplicate them, we know that, and we are opening the gates to actually connect to them. Actually, the deities are omnipresent. It is said they are the wheel, like an endless, ceaseless wheel of time, which means they are always present at all times. But in order to recognize that, we supplicate to the deities. And so today's principal deity is Magic Labdrön. We supplicate to Magic Labdrön. And now we think that Magic Labdrön and her assembly of deities appears before us in space. And so next we come to the visualization that I think Rinpoche will first read in Tibetan. So it says, in the space before you, upon a vast and spacious precious throne, Bam transforms into a lotus, Ram transforms into a sun, and A transforms into a moon. On this seat is your root guru, inseparable from the Dharmakaya Great Mother, in golden color, one face and 4 arms. Her first right hand holds a vajra, and the second one displays the protection-granting mudra. Her first left hand holds a volume of the teachings, and the other one is held in meditation gesture. She is adorned with various silks and precious ornaments. Above are the gurus of the oral transmission. In the middle is the assembly of Yidam deities. Below, she is surrounded by the Dharma palas and protectors. Think that in their presence you take refuge in the 3 jewels from today onwards until attaining enlightenment. Thus, please repeat the following supplication.
So, du som yokpa ye, sangje, changchop, sempa tang, lopun, dala, gongse sor, rikpa, zimba, daki ne, tunde, neme, zonne se, changche, nyingbor, chi je bar, bangba, persem, tsokpa ye, sangji, namla, japsen che, shejur, docha, karwa ye, tamchu, namla, japsen che, Kangla, Perwa, Tongyu Be, Gendun, Namla, Japsen Che, Lama, Yedam, Kanro La, Dakso, Ronam, Japsen Che, Sangye, Chudang, Gendun La, Dakso, Ronam, Japsen Che, Chuge, Longge, Zhige La, Dakso, Ronam, Japsen Che.
In English, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abiding in the 10 directions and 3 times, and the Vajra Master, please heed me from today onwards and until attaining enlightenment. I, a knowledge holder, take refuge in all the Buddhas who are the perfection of relinquishment and realization. I take refuge in the Holy Dharma, that is peace and free from attachment. I take refuge in the Sangha, the meaningful place of offerings. I and all beings take refuge in the Guru, Yidam, and Dakini. We take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. We take refuge in the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya.
근데 고초섬, 싸왔섬, 꽃섬, 방고, 호탈교에 가서 고초섬, 하지 주당팀, 좀, 상신도 싸가 가서 싸왔었는데, 랑글 류해담, 샘 라마, 내가 가로, 대박상 가로, 남녀들이 싸웠었는데, 이 냥들랑 제베트 자속 가면서 꽃선들이 선택이고 고랑어들이 꽃선고 성산교에 이들 매부까지 서로 생기도 받으면 꽃선 제베요 자속 반복 꽃선 라는 셈을 참교에 뭐 동바지 죽어 나갔다 라기 살이 시대들이 동바도 좀 많이 살름이 하고 사동성요 이 뒤강들이 탐지를 잡을 뻔하니까 제가 쳐보 생기나 돈이 또보다는经济 사회고요. 나 호막하지 오만经济 쳐보 시작하도록 다 되줄 무슨들이 나서도 좀 watch하거래. 다 저다 체크들이经济 사회 때에 애들이经济때들이 조금서 대하고 그래.
So we take refuge in the 3 jewels, the 3 roots, and the 3 kayas. In the context of the individual liberation, we take refuge in the 3 jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And then in the context of the Bodhisattva and the Vajrayana vehicles, we have the 3 roots. And when we engage in practice, the 3 roots are the body. One's body is the yidam, and the mind is the lama, and the speech is the dakini. So that is now in the context of one's own practice. And then when we attain the ultimate fruition, we accomplish the 3 kayas. And actually the seeds of the 3 kayas are already complete within our own Buddha nature. And when that potential then finally ripens, fully ripens, then one will manifest inconceivable forms to benefit infinite sentient beings. Then one has that ability. So how the 3 kayas are complete within one's mind is that the mind is empty in essence, like space. And that is the Dharmakaya seed in the mind. And then it is not just empty, it is also naturally clear. It clearly knows its own empty nature. So it is clear and empty. And then this all-pervasive, clear and empty nature, its all-pervasiveness, the pervasiveness of this nature, is the unconditioned love. When one realizes emptiness, true compassion actually arises. It is said that a sign of having realized emptiness is when this unconditioned, true compassion for all being arises, because it has this all-pervasive quality. And it is from that all-pervasive compassion that produces the nirmana kaya.
이 짬로 손에 semji 바란데 지비도 다 고조선을 잡서 손에 다 가이래 다 고조선 고조 잡거나 저거 sem지고 저거랑 sem들 등지제서 요래서 강내지 이를 피고서 로제 정도 요래서 그래서 그 sem지 바데 다 좋더라 나 주고 상도 나 상대에 좀 나다 벌써 아마도 나지 잡아 내 생기를 피고 선을 로제 정라 드리쪽 생도 초왔다 못 들리려고요 그래서 그때 나도 나이고 새끼거리 나지 잡아 좀 인기 아주 이라고 그래요.
So we have taken refuge in the three jewels. So then what do we have to do next? We take refuge in the three jewels because we seek protection. If you really want to be protected, you need to also develop a mind of bodhicitta. And that is what we come to next. So the mind needs something to hold on to throughout one's practice. And that is the altruistic mind. That is what you always need to hold on to. So do not always think about I. Right now, all you think about is me, I. So don't always think about the I, but cultivate that wish to benefit others, and then hold on to that wish. So this is the first feeling, experience that arises. So first, when we take refuge, we are still thinking of I want to be protected. Next, when we come to the motivation of bodhicitta, then we have to let go of this I, and instead of thinking I, we have to think of others.
소업제 그선 욕바예 상제 장첩 선바당 로쁜 나라 공소설 르파 zemba 바퀴네 두데 내네 존에서 장처 닝볼 치제발 제살 통지 dersek지 장처 토네 지바달 장처 선배 라빠라 름바 름지 더네 라빠달 다장 로라 빈동의 산촉 샘네 집지행 대비 더네 라빠랑 름바 인도 라빠지오.
And in English, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abiding in the 10 directions and 3 times, and the Vajramaster, please heed me, just as the Buddhas of the past gave birth to bodhicitta and progressively trained in the Bodhisattva's ways. So shall I, a knowledge holder, give birth to bodhicitta for the benefit of all beings and progressively train in the Bodhisattva's ways from this time on until attaining enlightenment.
이 샘지바 손에 이나드바 너의 지도도 들이 이나드바 시반데 묘목 쪽으로 묘목 쪽들 용하게 사와티 들이 리니지 보라레스 거요레 지디 유모가 톡들 이마지 게다 단지지 뭐 야지 좀 홍화들이 템바 이나트 유모가 톡이 뭐래.
Next, we will repeat the 7 branches. And so now the purpose of that is in our minds, we have the 6 afflictive emotions. And driven by them, we act out with body and speech. So each of those 7 branches is an antidote to an afflictive emotion. And the last one, the 7th one, is the dedication. And that is an antidote to self-grasping, the attachment to the virtue that we have accumulated. So in general, the 7 branches are an antidote to the 6 afflictive emotions.
원조 섬라 다짬치 원조 섬라 창살로 원조 섬라 휴방벌 넥바 나게 소소샤 로베 게라 지라 휴제 홀로 꼴왈꼴 냥이 맨다 육발솔 라미 산첩 천봉호.
English. All the Buddhas, I take refuge in the 3 jewels. I prostrate to the 3 jewels. I make offerings to the 3 jewels. I confess each and every negativity and non-virtuous deed. I rejoice in the virtue of all beings. I beseech you to turn the wheel of Dharma. I supplicate you not to pass into nirvana. I dedicate all merit towards unsurpassed and great awakening.
저쪽으로 창설로 시원하게 마자비니 보리 마자하고 말다 지하차게 제주 타바 습지 당신 마제가 왕다 마 추보고스 마 제대로 강에메 마 강에메 추고오면 독설이 제 마제레 마제가 타서고 대복리 대포마 하고 또 그래 세상 나서 뭐 유모 버스는 아망을 지금 시작하지도 그래 세상이 좋으니 보래 마장은 이고 세상은 이고 작바데 기술이란데 차도 이고 초반을 하는 도착이 이고 실 홀로 걸고 와서 또 먹고 이고 또 먹라 sem진 탐지 샘듯이 있는 보여자 사지를 추면은 남양 타바 토야 요 말에 대해서 또 먹고 이고 저는 양님마다 이제 벌써 왔는데 태성분이고 태성들 사지를 대바요 졌다 사지를 요나 매나 마음벌 때도 사고 사지 양님다 요 태성분이고 이렇게 다 나지기 보라더니 와서
First, when we prostrate to the 3 jewels, that is the antidote to pride. So normally, for the most part, we do not recognize our own pride. Actually, maybe 80% of our sentient beings' minds is really filled with pride. But we don't recognize that. For example, it manifests by thinking that I have no particular difficulties in this life. I don't really need the Dharma. I don't need any religion. That's actually a subtle form of pride too. And pride is ultimately ignorance. So that's the antidote to pride. Then making offerings is the antidote to attachment. And confessing negativities is the antidote to mainly hatred, anger, but also all the other afflictive emotions. Afflictive emotions arise often without us having much control over it, but we can purify them through confession. Then the antidote to jealousy is rejoicing. Supplicating to turn the wheel of Dharma is the antidote to ignorance. And so even though sentient beings all possess Buddha nature, if they do not encounter the Buddha Dharma, they will never become liberated. So therefore, turning the wheel of Dharma is the antidote to ignorance. And supplicating to not pass into nirvana is the antidote to doubts. Sometimes people, even though they are devoted to the Buddha, they still have doubts in their mind and they wonder, does the Buddha really exist or not, or will he be here in the future, and so on. So that's the antidote to doubt. And lastly, the dedication of one's roots of virtue is the antidote to self-grasping, the grasping at one's roots of virtue.
탑달 따와서 이제 노 타특고 따와 되나요? 두지당 가보지 대포와자에 또다니 시소보 동네 지랑 남 강반이 셔때 정말 라지 저 삼모자데 루제 낭탕제 또만 좀 붙다와다고 깜들 이서 특별가만 기사를 털라 주요지벨마 나 맞으로 소화돼 봐데 다들 그래 이게 정말 따뜻하게 고아를 이르데 다통 좀 아프다 봐도 나도 가양을 봤다 맞지 벌써 딱 들이 옛날에 나다 야랑도 상식을 셈싸고 되고 또 셈싸고 되고 그다음에 내들이 르즈들이 도와통 받아 이 내가 라트로 잘라들이 요즘 라마트게 나가카르다 요고 사람들이 제가 앞에 이 소들들 같이 보면 동거에 소들께서 뭐 뒤에서 공장들이 공장들 뭐 가는데 깜틀이에서 팔에 토바트를 갖고 제 마탐 용도 말에 토바트를 막고니 제 파마지 내가 깜틀이 용이라 요상 이 뭐가는 들까만 나시겠지 대사다네 대지들이 빠져서 거리 들까만이지 배우고 다소 왔다 터지들인데 뭐 받아서 다로 맞잖아 또 왔다 맞아도 그냥 그 잡아 보시라야 보여 맨날 뭐 받아서 시에는데 소왔다 빼지서 호텔에서 소왔다 빼 깜짝에 틀릴 까마니 얄 판이 산에서 빼 사마사지 공화점 쪽도 저서 사마사지 공화대 다 이제 다 태원삼 아대로 제조가 라마라마 보송고요 그래서 틀거든요 지구공화점 대성 그리디 틀리디 르바다 트리 대와 아니 제바 리토라 통에 트리 따토를 로고를 트리 텔레신자 나팔을 주었다 오치안나들이가 자와 제스가 소독을 잡아 다주저 타와 나타가 잡아들 마차 마지바를 봐 이미 나파 폰주들이 페이트가 야들 틀에 좋으니 장서 통에 나파의 의미도 혹시 이제는 벤나크에 같이 배착 rikpa chabdar chukur chabdar chibu hangla nyambar choche song te itorchir tisata to gobjale tata lo yala o te lo hu ti tata ha ko re te di saba lo le yang saba ya te yang na to mang jo na to jo ma go wa da ka ter tri ni ri ya de na kala da yin se yo re pa ke re pa mana ya lo ya ya ko yo re ya ko cham I ti ho te lo wa.
So then we come to the main part of the empowerment. And in the text it says it consists of two parts. First, there is the Dharma empowerment is conferred upon the mind. And that is the transference of consciousness that opens the gate of space. So here in the context of this transference or powa practice, we are training in separating the mind from the body. And so here's an instruction on that by Machik Labdrön. She said, let there be sufficient tension in the bowstring and then eject it far away. Once the consciousness is transferred thus, leave it in its natural state in outer space. Let it abide naturally, without hopes or doubts. Shine with the view that is free from limitations. This is the ultimate view. The Chod practice of opening the gates of space is unmatched by 100 transferences. So then next comes the visualization for that. And so it says here first that disciples should stand up and join their palms on their crowns. But Rinpoche says we will not do that. So what's more important than standing up or your body is the mind. So you can just fold, instead of that, you can fold your palms at your heart when you do the supplications later. And so then you visualize that your body is completely empty, like an inflated balloon. So there is nothing in your body at all. There is just, all there is the central channel. Then on the soles of your feet are the white and red drops. So the body is completely empty, and through the center of your body there is the central channel, and above you is the assembly of deities. And now when you supplicate, you join your palms at the heart, and so there is these two drops that you visualize at the soles of your feet. So Rinpoche says, I'm mentioning all of this now. Actually, we come to these stages gradually as we read, get along the text. But Rinpoche feels it's better to mention everything now and not interrupt your meditation again and again. So he will give the whole explanation right now. So you basically just visualize the central channel. You meditate, visualize the central channel, and at your soles you have the white and red drops. So the red drop is the right sole, the sole of your feet, and that the white drop. The white drop is on your right sole, and that is the drop that you receive from your father. And then the red drop is on your left sole, and that is the drop you have received from your mother. And so these are the kind of now the support for your consciousness. That's where your consciousness is. And so then you supplicate. So we get to that throughout when Rinpoche keeps reading the text. And then we supplicate. Rinpoche will read the whole supplication because it's quite long. So we will just listen to the supplication. And so then after the supplication, when Rinpoche is done with the supplication, then it says, having supplicated thus, think that the white and red drops visualized at the soles of your feet rise up and merge at the secret chakra, where they transform into a singular sphere the size of a small bird's egg. So it's about the size of a thumb joint, about an inch, like a little bird's egg. So that is at your secret chakra. Then gradually this bindu, this sphere of light, arises from the secret chakra to the navel, to the heart, to the throat, and then to the crown. And then the text continues, your body consists of 32 impure substances and a web of blood vessels, nerves, and flesh. Without attachment, without clinging to this leather bag, cast your awareness aimlessly into space. So after that, then Rinpoche will exclaim 3 pet. So we will not do it, Rinpoche will do it. And so at that time, think that this light sphere from the crown shoots out into space and merges with space. So it says then the light sphere shoots out from your crown where it completely merges with space. Thus, wherever space pervades, your awareness pervades. Wherever awareness pervades, the Dharmakaya pervades. Rest evenly within the state of infinite pervasiveness. So Rinpoche decided to go over this now, because first there is visualization, then there is supplication, then again visualization. But he feels that if he keeps interrupting your visualization, then that may lead to more thoughts in the mind. So just visualize in this way your body completely empty and the 2 bindus at the soles of your feet, and then later then they rise up and merge at your secret chakra, and then they move through the chakras to the crown, and then with pet they shoot out into space and merge with space. So now is actually the time where we should take a break first, and then we will resume that visualization. But during the break time, what you should reflect upon is this line here, that your body consists of 32 impure substances and a web of blood vessels, nerves, and flesh, and so on. So reflect upon that. Normally, we have a very strong fixation that our body is real and that's who we really are. We are extremely attached to our bodies. And Milarepa actually says that even if you're attached to that body, that pile of this aggregate, you cannot stay. So people want to live long, they want to stay around, but even though we want that, we have no control over it whatsoever. And conversely, other people are in so much pain and so ill that they want to die. and often we have also no control over this. But actually, even if the pain is intolerable, in a precious human body, we are purifying negative karma. So we should not fall into both extremes of complete self-mortification or indulgence. So think about how it is when we are attached to our body. Think about the nature of the body. Actually, even though we are attached to it, that is what it really is. It is composed of various impure substances. So when you think about this again and again, then your attachment to the body will diminish. In the 37 practices, it says, consciousness, the guest, will cast aside the guest house of the body. So that is something you should really reflect upon again and again, because now we have the freedom to do so. So now we take a break for about 20 minutes because the restrooms are also a little bit far, so we want to give enough time. And then when we resume with the empowerment, then we will return to that visualization that we had just mentioned before.
Tani tila tata mikpaade dan ji tani bukonde sem toko cheri adini di lübe dan di bu toko cheri o tatile lübe musa lega chiwa tabje ti chitang luka chiro songa dera soga tabje musa pengi yo che a tani akshikakala lega 시탄나양 되니 속보들 차는 용치고 납치도 속 로고 부모가 돌아티 내니 능의 용 아마고 이런 거 용고요래 그래서 세부단지 메나 어디 다다는 오카를 봐 하콜들이 좀 로빈듯이 참 차되는 무슨 거들이 따뜻하게 이렇게 마양다양 되지나 더 지게 봐 the tree mongole the patore the yore para kachimore
we just explained that visualization before, and so you can see that the mind is most important in the context of Chod. And so regarding our body, we fixate on our body we think that the body is the I. And of course, when it comes to external physical activity, there is some importance actually that is to be treated also somewhat important, because the body, for example, should observe moral discipline, ethical discipline, and so on. There are many benefits to that. But then, even more so, should we focus on the mind, actually. Because if we still believe, even though we hold those vows with the body, if we still cling to this concept of self in our mind, then after we have died, there still is this imprint of being attached to their physical form. And that leads to a lot of difficulties. And then the consciousness will enter any body that it can get, and it will experience misery for a very long time. So therefore, right now, it is good for us to understand that we are not this body, that this body is just like a guest house, a hotel. We separate from this body right now. We separate our mind from clinging to this body as being the I, that self. And so for this reason, we are offering this body again and again. And in this way, we cannot think of it in terms of particles, little particles that accumulate, mind particles. So the more we think about the self, the more of these kind of imprints or particles accumulate. So we are accumulating a lot of habitual imprints, basically. And that is the reason, because of accumulating these mind particles or actual imprints in the mind, that's why the visualization is so beneficial and so important.
카드 체리고 그래. 카드 체리고. 진짜 주요집을 남아다게 나와서 좀 홍나기 좋아대바디 해지는 남아 빼마고다리 공시반기 남아세상에 요래. 남아대 상태들이 그러니까 무슨 요 말했잖아요. 요래 고소 셈셔야 요 말이 있으면 동도 오래더니 죽고 나오게 되는 보절 요 말 고소 셔야매 봐. 다다 도지 장대들이 철지야매 봐. 파셔와매 봐. 베스타베 나오까서 제시베와 때문에 상기시 받으려 철지와매 받으려 놓고 다 죽고 좋은 거래. 저 로가를 요거를 파시야 요 말 고소 이 데이터로 하고는 딱 버리 요래 일나 갖다가 잡히네서 나길에서 나 갖다가 잡디 요래 이 다들 설마들 소화까지 끝났더니 빈반하게 되는 남기는 요거서 이제 초와지는 서봐 고체 그래 일빈 받치 보여래 이 같이 뭐래 이거 걸 남아서 뭔가지 좀 something 다다 소화 나게 셀로레 맞아 주로 지금 말해 보이더니 나로 그래.
So then we have come back to the visualization then. So we have visualized before the entire assembly of the Chod lineage masters and so forth, this entire divine assembly gathering in the space before you like clouds. And then in their presence we supplicate. And so as Rinpoche mentioned before, he will do the supplication on our behalf. And so we mentioned before there's many masters, lineage masters there abiding in space. And you might think that they are not really there. We are just kind of imagining it. But actually they are really there because their mind never dies. They have realized the truth of non-duality. So their mind has merged with the space of the Dharmakaya. Their awareness, their wisdom is there. They have not passed away. They abide in the nature of Vajradhara. The nature of Vajradhara is space-like, and that is, it transcends birth and death. That is enlightenment. And because it transcends birth, naturally, effortlessly, those emanations of Sambhogakayas and Nirmanakayas manifest in the 6 realms of samsara. So they actually can never die, they never die. With that understanding, develop an awareness now that they are really here in space, pervading space. Like we say in a supplication, I supplicate to Chenrezig who pervades space. So when Rinpoche does the supplication on our behalf, we think in this way. And whenever you do a supplication, they think that they appear like clouds in the sky naturally. And in this way, if you think in this way, a special feeling, an experience of their presence arises. And when that feeling of their presence arises, your mind opens up. And when it opens up, then myriads of powers unfold from that. So always remember that the gurus are actually always there when you when you make a supplication. So now Rinpoche will do the supplication because it is quite lengthy and very difficult, so he will do the supplication on our behalf.
남치 저쪽을 냈나? 산지가 밤에 곡이 밤하지. 이 남산들이 샘을 산지 샤로 걸려 벨. 그와 대비시나 에 따라 싸면 땅들이 돈나 늘 실바직 땅 내봐. 야, 나다나지 살는 거 촉촉하고. 이나 나한테 메렸다 아래. 에물라 늘 실마요나. 이제 그 양상이 하다 달지 제거를 그래서 다 팩잡고 가서들 mam자지만 tam지 mam자들이 자 감탄이야서 대화를 연가 레바 이쪽으로 아래 야선 나팔 전나팔 하시 공자들은 공자 탑보리 이제 공자 맞췄나 나팔 초생 나팔 강화 좋대요. 대신에 살려더니 매도 가서 하는 나팔 사지 강대와 대로 좋아하셨나? 그냥 하는 데가 잡혀요.
So the drop then leaves through the crown, and so the crown is significant. For example, during the refuge vow, a piece of hair is clipped right from our crown, and this clipping of the hair opens the door to the central channel. The central channel is the wisdom channel. The gate is the wisdom gate. There are many different gates, exit doors in our body, and the only wisdom door is the door at the central channel. So if the consciousness leaves the body through the central channel at the crown, then certainly one will be born at least in the higher realms like the God realm, but not in the lower realms. And that is why we are always instructed to keep our focus, our awareness at the crown, remembering the crown. It is endowed with many blessings. So that's the reason why we visualize in this way. And then there is many impure gates and impure channels throughout our body. The lower gates, the lower openings of our body, if the consciousness leaves through any of these gates, one takes birth anywhere in the other 6 realms of samsara. But in any case, we should actually not even think about any of those other gates, those other doors. We only should direct our attention to the crown opening at the central channel, the opening to the central channel. And think that above your crown is this divine assembly having the nature of your root guru or the Buddha Amitabha. And when the consciousness at the time of death reaches the crown, the Buddha Amitabha is there waiting for the consciousness. So if you really know how to supplicate by thinking in this way, then the Buddhas will immediately, instantly appear within your mind, and you will go there without any attachment to your body. So right now we have a strong attachment to the body, and for as long as we have this attachment, we have to practice the offering of the body again and again. So next, when Rinpoche will exclaim the path, you should visualize in this way. So we mentioned before the 2 drops come up to the secret chakra, then the navel. So they're merged, then there's 1 drop, and then that 1 drop rises through the navel, the heart, the throat, and then the crown, slowly rising upward. And then when it reaches the crown, it is ejected out into space where it merges with space. So if you know how to visualize in this way, then meditate like this. And if that's difficult, you can also just think that in the space before you is the entire field of accumulation, so all those Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and so on. Actually, when that appears in your mind becomes like a blossoming and opening flower. So to think that the space is filled with Buddhas, and that also leads to a very special feeling. And so that creates then a connection to these, those Buddhas abiding in space.
그래서 백선지의 요리 상내니 때와 명하 레바 이쪽으로 백성하지 서로 통을 같이 다섯 나가를 세 그래야지.
So now Rinpoche will say 3 pets, and at that time visualize how that drop moves from the secret chakra to the navel, to the heart, to the throat, to the crown, and then leaves through the crown opening and merges with space. So then mind merges with space.
특례대 교원의 장세통 남카나 예미 촉세리 남케 가착 르베 르베 가착 주고 찹달 쳔붕을 냠벌 쇼제 범레 계속 남발 따에 등의 진상 남과 남발 차바시 있어 등의 진상 남과 제발 바시에서 같은 게 이것도 지속과 동의 에따라 준더 내나 다른 초에노 공장 내 방법에 롱을 무송신 무송도에 저런 거를 빠지 천두 무진저 바다네 저런 거를 생기가 내미 염침을 그렇게 봐
So it says the light sphere shoots out from your crown, where it completely merges with space. Thus, wherever space pervades, your awareness pervades. Wherever awareness pervades, the Dharmakaya pervades. Rest evenly within the state of infinite pervasiveness. The extensive Prajnaparamita in 100,000 verses explains the meaning of space-pervading awareness in terms of 3 samadhis. The samadhi of fully gazing into space, the samadhi of fully pervading space, and the samadhi that expands and fills up space. Always abiding within this state is the supreme view. However, as a beginning practitioner, you should be mindful and purify the obscuration of believing in the true existence of phenomena. In this way, your body and mind merge non-dually with the form of the Great Mother.
납시대 아예 갖고 작을 때 상상 족기방 보라고요. 아예 하고 근데 아예 갖고 아예 갖고 긴지나 나 이제 강마 사태 가지고 라메트 아예 긴지나 양고 집발에 했죠.
So we are supposed to visualize the Great Mother, the Prajnaparamita, and if that's difficult, then you can also just think of a white A syllable. And that white A is actually also very significant in the Dzogchen practice, because by merely thinking of the A, the white A, there is no other thought of self and other. So instantly, without any other thought, bring to mind a white arm, and it has the same essence as the Great Mother. And then it says, then assuming the 7-point posture of Vairochanam, cut through all conceptual elaborations of the 3 times. Without thinking anything, rest at ease within a natural state. So then again, Rinpoche will say 3 pet, and in general, what is the meaning of pet, the purpose of pet actually? So normally, the mind is quite restless, and there's a ceaseless chain of thoughts arising in the mind all the time. And the pet cuts directly through these thoughts, through the thinking. And so normally you would shout out pet when you are at a place where you're by yourself alone and there's no disturbance, or you're not afraid, it's a safe place. And then you shout out pet. And the moment you shout out pet, already that moment, all thinking has been shattered by the pet. And instantly, the mind has become completely empty. So that's the purpose of pet. So right now, there's a lot of people here, so it's difficult for us to shout out pet. So someone else is saying it for us. But you can also just bring it to mind. And even if you just bring the pet to mind, if it arises in your mind, that sound of pet, that can bring an end to all thinking in your mind. And actually, when in the context of Dzogchen practice, when we practice the Chekchum, the direct cut, that is what we really have to habituate to, that direct interruption of thinking. So the moment a thought arises, you cut through it with the knife of awareness in the form of pet. So instantly, as soon as something comes up, you say pet, and the mind becomes completely empty. You cut through the thought, and there's nothing there. Normally, the thought that we cling to is like a rope. It ties us up more and more tight. So that's the experience that we gain in the textual practice of Dzogchen. We cut through the thoughts as they arise. And here we do that by exclaiming pet. So pet is also significant in the Dzogchen practice.
Hey. 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 Tēnā pōmle kāng bā mīchēng yīla sāra mī bā nē sācī jīsā tīmbā wā chū jīsā tīmbā wā gāndī jīsā tīmbā wā chī sōng sō mā chī kā shā nē dhīm jī dhīm lā lū jī lū rī bā yā chī tēnā dā thā tū kā tā wā chī tēnā dā thā tū kā sācī chī tēnā dā chī sōng bā tōng yī nō.
Again, the extensive Prajna Paramita in 100,000 verses says, when you think of nothing and are without mental activity, you are recollecting the Buddha, you are recollecting the Dharma, you are recollecting the Sangha. Majik Lapdran said, be firmly concentrated, yet loosely relaxed. The pith of placing awareness is like that. The ultimate point of the view is like that. This is the ultimate Buddha. So she said, be firmly concentrated, yet loosely relaxed. Firmly concentrated is that first we need to concentrate our mind. We have to meditate, we concentrate our mind. But then when thoughts dissolve and there is no thought in your mind, then you can just stay within that state in more loosely. So at this point, you have to know how to relax the mind. It is not advisable to always sustain tension. So first, you need to concentrate the mind, and once thoughts have left, then you stay in a loosely relaxed state. So we need to focus again and again and loosen again and again. It's almost like we are taking turns. We loosen, we focus, we loosen, we focus, just like actually like a heartbeat, like a pulse.
Tēne kiwāng sēm lā kruwa, tē sū lā sāpāṃ lī lā kruwa, tōng dē mō pāng tē kē tē tō, tē kē kē rāng mō tē chō tōg dō, tō mā tē tā tā mē tē, pā rā ngō wō, wā lā mā yōm chē mō, yē mā, yē mī pā, nā pā, mā chī lā kī kō tō kā mō xā rē chē, sā yē tā mā rā, nā kā rā tō wā, yōng wā kā rā chē, tō wā kā rā tī pā rā, bā chī tō kā jī wā. What are the Toro to get the Tado de la Machu Kadu Kochi, Kochi to correct to the Battle Tagachala, Jubala, Mapachala, Idam, La So, Order, Chala, Chala, Film Summa, don't want to take a water, you bought the Lumaya, the teacher could bear, don't want to work.
So this completes the Dharma empowerment that is conferred upon the mind. Next, the deity empowerment is conferred upon the body. Visualize the Dharma that is placed onto your crown as indivisible from your root guru in essence and the Great Mother in appearance. She appears as Magic Labdun, white in color, with one face and two arms. With her right hand, she plays a Damaru drum held aloft in space. With her left hand, she holds an upturned bell made of reflective silver at her hip. She is adorned with 6 bone ornaments, and half her hair is bound up in a top knot, while the other half flows freely. She is surrounded by her retinue of 4 dancing dakinis. Above her are the lineage gurus, in between the divine assembly of yidams, and below the Dharma protectors, gathering like clouds. In their presence, give rise to faith and respect with body, speech, and mind, and supplicate to them with intense yearning.
Hong. Hong. Ma. Yumqin. Togle. Zhirbe se. Ma jik. Zhuomo. Namjurma. Parul. Simpe. Topma. Gardin. Yongje. Yutorma. Datang. Murpe. Perobla. Sinji. Lapar. Zedoso.
Hong, you are born from the heart of the Great Mother, Magic, Noble Vajrayogini, who has gained final accomplishment and who liberates the minds of fortunate ones. Please grant your blessings upon me, a devoted disciple.
我这早说话的被他做那么久，这玩贵我干过来，我认出，我说干不错，把这边把送枪那么久，就我他被直接过来说呗，这大概也是他就不没帮助就。네, 근데 공부를 나쁘셔서 지 멜론도 좀 이자데 남이들이 또 잘들 샤르들이 들리더니 나도 당시 어제도 봤지 소소들이 가로 온 대발아 아 진짜로 홍 대발 소라 소바들이 나와저리 단단검다검라 실직가비 닮은 받고 온더니 놀라더니 소리 템지 뭐 받고 오면
So there is a visualization now where we visualize how light radiates from different places of the deities' bodies who abide in space. And so first of all, the deities abide in space, and here you have the Dharma, and on top of the Dharma is this picture, this ugly picture. And this picture is like a mirror that reflects the deities abiding in space. So think that when the light rays radiate one by one, that it radiates from this image here above the Dharma, which reflects all the deities in space. So then in stages we visualize how light rays radiate from the Om at the forehead, and the A at the throat, and the Hung at the heart, and the Shri at the navel, and so forth. So for each of these steps of visualization, think that the light rays are coming out from this image here at the Dharma, above the Dharma.
오늘의 속지 전보서다 산라 자주서 마제도 지들 조서서 제도니 Rồi cho mấy sinh giờ là mà dễ đồ đồ sinh giờ là chứ mà cho mà tổ qua chỉ chứ mà hoàng cho phải chia số chứ mà cho mà tổ qua chỉ chứ mà hoàng cho của chứ mà cho mà thôi chứ xong mà chứ mà người đó rồi mà cho mà làm nào cũng chứ mà mà chú lang tàu rồi chứ lo thì mà cái gì bảo sang cái gì我的说嘛嘛没时间看着嘛，那就这么怪在哟哦我的个也忘脱，太阳嘛在给他做就，他说那么就不送个我阿妈不了，这把不错，把这个说我叫他们就把什。아까 거기서 봤다가 저거 다 속고 사람 이거 몇 방도 예
We have just completed the first one, and so the visualization for that was from the white at the foreheads of the assembly of deities. Inconceivable white light radiates, it dissolves into your forehead and purifies the negativities and obscurations accumulated with the body. The blessings of enlightened form have entered you. And now next we are coming to the second. From the red at the throats of the assembly of deities, inconceivable red light radiates. It dissolves into your throat and purifies the negativities and obscurations accumulated with speech. The blessings of enlightened speech have entered you.
中间嘛，做头去中间嘛，这个嘛，lâm na中间嘛，就嘛，切人到了人家，第二个我个的巴拉上个的我的说，妈妹妹即将看着嘛，那就这么突就着去说，这讲就那个有哦，你就是你，他突就这样长忙上嘛，就说个我们都。你在这个人家的设计的钱，就蛮没时间看着嘛，物理工程所在呢，晒出那很多呢。物理工程所在呢。
Tänä huntella lepsaarva.
Une.
Hung tini mikpa mata chetu yo mari sila.
Ah.
Chetu yorwe. Para chetu yorwe.
Ne. I son changlo.
Hungi mikpa dirwa.
changlo yo na si son che. Son de jidi chame ko orwa. Jidi yo no se chu mo orwa.
Sonde yorwe tana.
Ha ko.
Sonde yorwe. Telati hungi usa mumbo chotu mata yo mari. Para sonde.
Yo mara.
Yo sonde tala yo mari. Tani hung tini a hung shi pe tini usa chu rimbash na chu yorwa.
Sonde mis.
dia nang kan para samo de mo de so ma me ji ji ka ro ma la ju ro me thok de la ji yo ne ta thok yo wang la so go wang la de to na yo ye de na de ni ma ne ta ai ka ta la de on ka te para samo de mo de so de thok song sa ne thok yo wang da ro yo ye热的就是红这个有红这个有好长，人家了红了他们上上，现在我这红过来的。
So to represent the speech empowerment, we receive nectar, and so then think that you have received the mantra garland. What is it? Then around the white arm, and then the mind empowerment. For the mind empowerment, you receive a pill, and think that there is a small blue hung in the pill. So when you receive it later, you take it as a whole.
Số năm chứ, thế vào này dùng đến giờ ngô rồi, liệu chứ sắp tới chỗ bao giờ nó sẽ chỉ là năm giờ, thế vào thì bé, ngô sum thà thế thì bắt thà dùng đến giờ, sẽ làm việc dùng cho mình bắt rồi thì cho tôi so chứ.
So then, fourth, from the yellow shri, having the nature of enlightened qualities at the navels of the assembly of deities, inconceivable yellow light radiates. It dissolves into your navel and purifies the obscurations of grasping at the three doors as separate. The blessings of enlightened qualities have entered you.
para sanga de bo de so wa ma me mi chi jang kan ro ma lab de ro me yong di de zha xi yo di yong di ji ji na na wa to wa yin da yang me quan de ji dan du la to tam jie ji sang ne so chen ye jing wo ye pai jiang ko de le wo zhe so ba de me ban zhu qiang nam ye Sanito também, não isso me digo, isso pode ter. Mario Batani, Chinese, Frappy Woman Ba, to
So then from the green pad having the nature of enlightened activities at the secret chakras of the assembly of deities, inconceivable green light radiates. It dissolves into your secret chakra and purifies all negativities and obscurations accumulated with body, speech, and mind without exception. The blessings of enlightened activities have entered you. You have received the complete empowerment of enlightened body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities. And next is the protection blessing. Visualize the Dharma, indivisible from magic Lapton, surrounded by the 4 Dakinis. Above are the gurus of the Chod lineage. In the middle is the assembly of wrathful Yidam goddesses. And below are the protectors of the Chod lineage, all gathering like billowing clouds. Think that they all appear above your crown and grant blessings and accomplishments according to your supplication. Then the entire assembly of deities dissolves into light. Think that your body, speech, and mind have merged inseparably with the enlightened body, speech, and mind of Magic Lapton. Rest evenly within the unfabricated nature of mind.
홍보 신도 좋아서 저로 냐죠 때리 좋아서 저로 지 저 남도 좋아서 저로 이렇게 찾아오고 싶은데도 좋아서 저로 우미를 들어 소도 봐서 저로 저도 tom먹어 그럼 이소도 일로 도버서 저로도 대하다가 대하가 뭐라고 바로 상관에 뭐 되어서 돈이 좀 정말로 나와 타브라 라다도 속도로 또 있으면 같이 주죠. 라도 나서 왕도 바이 한번 강 랭버 돈이 좀 나서 왕도 바이 강 랭버 답불라把对面上头了，我们用这东西做东西，啥代表就把种，干下一些就是不要他讲俺的，他讲俺的啥弄了，身体都是把这。좀 감도 벌어 속 채모 벌고 말이야 되니 보고 만나더니 막 보게 잡아내더니 막 뛰어 제걸 빼세다더니 진지하게 그거를 강하더니 다음부터 죽을 강 가가고 요래더니 저런 강도 좀 돈도 삼는게 고 요래지 애들은 라마는 다시 성적을 돈이 이제 성적을 봐야 돼 생돈이 돈도나 다음에 봐 차용고요. 제 돈을 인fin으로 때문에 인피 체로요. 돈이 돈다. 그러니까 말다 타다 시작이. 대상제 돈을 다가게 될 생돈이 된 hin지 맞다시 betare. 이제 왕을 토에
So for the in the Chod practice, we are playing the bone trumpet, and in the context of Chod, actually, it is said that one should not blow it too forcefully. So it should not give off a forceful sound at all. It is more like a mother calling for her child with love. So the sound is gentle and compassionate. And it is said that one needs a certain kind of trumpet, bone trumpet, for the Chod practice. But in brief, what's most important, what you really need, is love and compassion. And so the bone trumpet, or the Dhammaru, what it represents is the union of method and wisdom, or emptiness and compassion, the playing of the Dhammaru drum. When you realize emptiness, then all concepts of there being a self disappear. And in this way, altruism increases further and further. Actually, an increase in compassion is a sign of having truly realized emptiness. So the Dhammaru represents that, the union of method and wisdom. And in brief, it is a sign that you should never separate from emptiness and compassion.
주종 사로 바다 가동적이 있어서 일단 심벌로 되고 사람들 쇼부서도 그걸 자로 보다 졸라 또 뭐지 좀 맞아 이제 맞을라 좀 막다 맞아 레저 뭐야 가르치 뭐해도 되게 와다 되게 이거들 뭐 rodo jadi ada kata wala sawan bo de zo a o pangura haran sa se de o mirang pangura haran sa sa de o pangura haran sa sa de o pangura haran sa sa de o pangura haran ma chi ya Angora harada sade abo jiwa durang dong se tamba jaga jira yijo jiwa de la do de tamba jaga jira ji jo mama me ye je kan mo la je ro me tra ji ro na ye de bo lo ma ma je tra ji jo mo dong e ba te de ye nam nam je tra ji jo ba je dam de be chi dong nam je tra ji go 어디 중앙 생각 걸어 사람을 걸 이제서 이래 방고 맞게 차네 내서 내 이사를 좀 받지 저요 저요 내 이사를 좀 받지 르네 잡지로 받지 안에 냠령 받지 심내 뒤시 받지 제에서 마다라 맞을라 도제 마절라 제 노마 사파사르 조네 조여로 사자지 뭐냐 없더니 냠베 내 얘기도 조 저서마 이마 이소 저기다 가서 봐
그래 띠빠도래
그래 다들
야 통지도
주 남측에 다 일단 주로 답적을 줘 나한테 줘봐 이 산촉천대 오늘 다 요말 남진 요말에 대니 돈안 산촉천은 비대요래 이 둘라 이 답적 가까이 요래 얘네한테 또도 산촉천은 되고 요래 참아 이 산촉천대다 조박했다고 자고래 나빠 찌었다서 사진의 정대 이 다가 받았더니 답적 주와서 산촉천이 고다 고지 발 변진 발 출력 발더니 참아 상제대들이 산촉천에 지하고고래 대전에 이 그리제네 아들이 두냐미 제 잡았더니 아jo래 들 카톡에 클린지는 그 말에 되니 또더니 산촉천 표를 뭐제 마지 바나지 저 이번년바 매파에 공을 배가리 줘서 되니 다음 주제 네 저래서 말 나타야 주제 까밤 니마스기 전에 다시 두제 주요데 파주칼 마주칼도 소행이 라마담베자 당연히 좀 뒤에 이제 냠지 구도 좋은 왜 내자서에 메제 도자들이 보니 동아들 동아들 왜 이히요 두지라라리 이해서 뭐더라 좀 뒤에 저 까파만 챙기 왜 거래 어디를 뭐 저러 저러 나로 빈지저로 형 나로 빈지저로 형 답아져가지고 제대로 남제 동당 공부 답지 맞게 그 주당 왕들은 바 인노 대에서 와서 자주 와서 뭐 더 알아서 되면 뭐 저기 자 이대로
So then we come to the Samaya, and so regarding the Samaya, the Chod has its own special Samaya, but that mainly is to cut through self-grasping. And that we really do with the common samaya of bodhicitta. If you give rise to bodhicitta, there is no self, naturally. So that is how really all samayas are complete within bodhicitta. Even though it is taught that there are separate samayas for the Chod practice, they really all come back to bodhicitta. So you have to cultivate love and protect that, sustain your love with patience. And that is the common samaya, really, of all Buddhist practitioners. From the time of the Buddha onwards up until now, that is the samaya. It is bodhicitta. And that means to treat others with loving kindness. Between your friends, other companions, everyone you meet, between religions and lineages, and so on. This kind of love, loving kindness, we should see this as the samaya of bodhicitta to be sustained. And so then, this also should be mentioned, although there are different Chod samayas that we may or may not be able to keep, but we cannot just take a commitment without really knowing anything about it. It would be just empty words. So the commitment is bodhicitta, to cultivate bodhicitta where it has not yet arisen, to not let it decline where it has arisen, and to further increase it. And so then in the empowerment text it says, the Chod lineage holder Nyima Sengye said, the purpose of the holy Dharma of Chod is to cut through the maras. Chod is the life essence of the Dakinis of the mother lineage. It is the oral instruction of the holy gurus. It is the experiential instruction of the realized ones. It is the wish-fulfilling jewel that grants all needs and wants. It is the single medicine that cures 100 illnesses. It is the single antidote that tames 100 evil spirits. It is the wisdom that tames the 5 poisons. It is the wisdom sword that cuts through all delusion. This Chod empowerment of Magic Labdrön is the essence of the second cycle of teachings of the Buddha, the Dharma wheel without characteristics, the miraculous Chod of Guru Rinpoche, the one-taste teachings by the Pandita Naropa, and the Shije, the pacifying teachings of Padamba Sangye. That's on page 15. So then let's read that together once in English on page 16, the last verse on page 16 in the yellow prayer book. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise, where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Om Mane Padme 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 Om 한국 지어줘. Om Mane Padme Om 야 잘해. Oh
You come here over there. Can you land? Can you land here? Please come here. Come here. Here, please.
No, it's divine. Can you want here? Yeah. Maybe they are together, sir. You are together. Yes. You are here? Maybe here. Maybe go this way. You go there. You got it? Can you come here together? Here. Then we make it all here.